Hi, Statesman Nation. Welcome to another edition of Inside the Playbook. I'm Wade Steinlogan. I'm joined by Jared Goodman and Justin Burtis, as always. The guys that make me look a heck of a lot better than I am. So, guys, appreciate you coming in. All right, let's get right into it. We're going to recap all of this week's games. It's the Senior Day special, so we got a whole bunch of seniors to talk about as part of our winter sports. So, all right. Actually, it was a fairly light week last week because of a lot of cancellations and basketball being off on Saturday. So I'll just start right into it. Last night, our most recent games, basketball hosting Central Methodist. Huge game for the women, trying to chase down the Eagles, sitting number 8 in the nation and first in the league. Unfortunately, had a lead early in the fourth quarter and just couldn't close it out. Very sloppy game, ended up losing 68-57. But, you know, the best game that Central Methodist has probably seen, had somebody play against them for quite a while, maybe since we beat them last month. But, you know, in the end, 43-45 total turnovers. We only shot 31%. They only shot 40. Brendan Pennington has 13. Kate Ylitalo has 12. But in the end, we just couldn't finish them off. And but, you know, you showed that you're more than a solid team. Definitely one of the best teams in the league. Central Methodist is just in another atmosphere right now, and you know, they were able to pull it out in the end.
Yeah, and you know, I think we had a 4-point lead. I think it was
55,
with about 4 minutes left in the game, and we were right.
8. But either way, it was in the
we were right there.
Yeah, we were right there.
I don't think it hurt us at all as far as postseason looks.
No.
I mean, we took them down to the wire. We gave them all we can have. Then we took one down there originally. So there's a little bit of kind of a friendly or not friendly rivalry, but there's a rivalry going on there right now. But neither team wants to lose to each other, and us being the reigning Heart of America Athletic Conference champions, it's a good battle going on right there between those two teams, and should be for years to come. And unfortunately, the girls couldn't pull it off last night, but we'll see what happens when the tournament comes around.
Yeah, now it's just going to come down to we're going to have to pull an at-large bid. More than likely, I guess we could get the automatic if we win the conference tournament, but Central Methodist is locked up at least a share now of the conference title, as we kind of expected. That's a big, strong, physical, fast team, and very fast team. But we held them to 68, almost had a chance to win. In the end, just couldn't pull it off. So,
I don't think it
sorry,
hurt us at
Justin,
all.
if you wanted to add anything in all of that.
Kate came in. She made a couple threes to start the fourth. You're like, all right, this is the same team that came out and scored 30 in the last game to beat Culver, and then just things didn't drop for them.
Yeah.
And it's not their fault. They had a couple good looks. I mean, Brenda only had one field goal. All the rest was off of free throws. So a couple of those drop in. It's a different game. There was also the technical that really kind of sealed the deal, because then you're having to foul. And
it was just a weird game with a few technicals in there, but just couldn't come up with it in the end.
Close. Very close. You held them under their scoring average. Their star player didn't even get close to 20 points, their average. So you have to say there's a lot of positives despite another loss. It's really that Columbia game, I feel like. Yeah. It's like, well, we lost. And it should have been that. The scoreline's a little too big for that.
Yeah, it wasn't an 11-point game. It was closer than that for sure. But like I said, it was, lick your wounds, move on, and finish strong. I mean, if you finish strong, you still make the nationals. That's why you're looking. Yeah, exactly. Sweep second. Go ahead.
Yep, man. They continued their run of dominance over the Heart of America Athletic Conference. They took down CMU by a score of 93-75. This was after a bit of a break, and they were coming to arguably their best played game of the season as far as putting a whole 40 minutes together against Culver Stockton a week ago. But they came out and they did what they needed to do. First half, there was some good, there was some bad. I don't think they came out with as much energy as they had against Culver Stockton. But it's hard to bring that night in night out, especially when the other team is going to bring their best against a top 10 team in the nation perennially. So, I mean, they did. They came out the first half. It went into the break with a 4-point lead, and then the second half they kind of turned it on. Built a double-digit lead just a few minutes in, and from there kind of coasted. Got up to a 20-point lead, ultimately winning by 18 points. But usual suspects putting up their numbers. Dexter Hood once again led. He had 23 points. Kamar Newman had 21. It was good to see him kind of getting a rhythm again after he had battled some nagging injuries.
And made some threes, and he moved the ball inside. I mean, he's become a much more versatile player.
Yeah,
he was just only a 3-point shooter at the start of the year, and now all of a sudden he's moving the ball wherever he needs to.
And we saw him make a couple nice passes as well, which
Yes.
is something he might be asked to do now that Brandon Faison is unfortunately done for the year. But
Was it? Okay.
Yes, he is. Yeah, broken hand. Yeah.
yeah, so he had surgery on his hand. Best wishes to him and his recovery.
Mm-hmm.
But Kamari Newman, he was 5'11" from beyond the arc, and then Kevion Blaylock doing what he does, putting up another massive double-double. It's his 7th of the year, 18 and 12. These aren't just cheap 10-point, 10 rebound double-doubles. He's putting up some big numbers right now, and both having an effect on both the offensive end and the defensive end as well.
He's got to be close to almost a double-double a game, it feels like.
He's averaging a double-double.
Yeah. So, and then Q Cager coming off the bench, really a guy that we were really applauding his play last night, Kylie and I, and he comes in, he just makes such an impact on this team. He just kicks it into another gear that, is can't keep up with at this level. I mean, I've never seen somebody go 110% every time.
Go
up
to
and
wherever
down
he
the
wants
court.
to on the court. Just
Yes.
says, I'm going here, and gets there.
Yeah, and he takes contact, able to finish, and he ended up with 11 points off the bench. And then Eddie Daly had a good outing off the bench. He had 10 boards and 9 points, so he almost had a double-double himself in just limited play off the bench. I think he's kind of been an unsung hero these last few weeks for the Statesman. He comes in and gives them quality minutes day in and day out, and he might play 12 minutes a game, but he'll give you 8 points and 6 rebounds, or he's put up some big numbers lately quietly, and he's a vocal leader for that team. He comes in and he gets things going, a couple big blocks, and
when he gives a different look than obviously Nate does. I mean, he stretches the floor, can make the three and stuff. So it's just nice to have his versatility as well.
Yeah,
so,
Henry has always said if you add those guys' numbers together, they're like the best center in the league combined with their number.
That's true. Yeah, very much.
So Statesman take care of business. Outshot Central Mass 51% to 41%, shot 48% from the three. Just another Statesman basketball game.
Just win, 23-3. Take it. All right, track and field.
Track and field. They went to Concordia or Seward, Nebraska to take part in the Concordia invite. Just a limited group going up there, kind of a final tune-up for some guys and girls to get it ready to go into the conference championships. Zach Jackson Richardson was the highest finisher for the men, as he placed 13th in the 200-meter dash at the time of 23.24 seconds. That was in the sprints. Josh Ogden was not far behind him, as he finished 24th at the time of 23.7 seconds. And then the hurdles, Lubert Dagrin pulled out a third-place finish, as he did so in a time of 8.41 seconds. So he's
been really strong coming on at semester, just a freshman, and just was able to be a really nice addition. Yeah,
good addition. And Sage Erisman, he paced the squad in the throws. He's not going to take a day off. He's going to get in there every moment that he can. But he finished 7th in the shot put, the distance of 51 feet and 8 1/4 inches. And then over on the women's side, Kayla Music, 12th place finish in the 200-meter dash and 27.24 seconds, while Raven Williams, who's also had a very, very strong sophomore campaign here, just behind her with the time of 27.57 seconds, and that was good enough for 17th. And then Shelby Williams threw the shot put for the Williams finish. She finished 16th with a measurement of 40 feet, 6 1/4 inches.
Yeah. So now everybody's locked in. We found out today, everybody that's going to conference. So now it's let's just see what they can do, and hopefully get a strong showing on both sides, and maybe even qualify somebody for nationals. There's still a last chance meet to go as well, but hopefully they're peaking at the right time. I'll talk about bowling. Their final regular season meet.
Bowling, the Hoosier Classic up in Indianapolis, Indiana. Both teams went. 64 teams on the women's side, 78 on the men's side.
Huge.
The women 19th after the team rounds. Not the best, but certainly not terrible considering the competition and how many teams there were. They ended up with 2 games over 1,000. Baker games, they even improved, up 6th place to 13th from 19th. Came up just about 100 pins short of the playoff position, so top 8 made it to the knockout rounds. Just missed out on that, so that's a bummer for a team that's been in the knockout rounds the past few tournaments.
Yeah.
But still, a decent finish in a strong field. Mount Mercy ended up winning, which is interesting. There's a couple Hart teams in that, and that's coming up, so that really kind of little bit of a wake-up call, I'm sure, to the team to see
It's
that
a
another
strong
hard
conference.
team
There's a whole.
is
It's
up
not
and
just
won
William
that
Penn and
one.
everybody
Yeah.
else. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of good teams in the Heart.
So Bailey Palmer, 13, or no, yes? No, okay. That's 13th up here. Bailey Palmer, 202.8 average, finished in 35th, kind of the highest finisher for the Statesman. Abby Feynman, 195.7. Kayla Gifford, 186.7. Nicole Craft, 185.8. Casey Brandow, 169.7 over 4 games. Alexis Lake, 190 over 2 games. So some pretty respectable numbers, just, again, a little short in that Baker's set. The men's side, 78 teams, as I said, they came home in 22nd, 8,609 total pins. They had 2 games over 11 during the kind of opening day, and they were 8th after day 1. Rock Kostrick was near the top of the charts in terms of individual play. It looked like this team was going to power through and be one of the teams to beat, but then the Baker teams just kind of caught them off guard, and they slipped a couple places and eventually settled into 22nd, so they too miss the knockout rounds. Rock, though, still finished in the top 10 with a 9th place finish, 218 over 6 games of a 244 high, which is pretty dang good.
Yeah.
His brother Alex was just 20 places below him and 29th with a 210 average. The brothers Kostricks doing their thing and trying to carry this team as far as they could. Let's see here. We got Cook at a 197.5, Brandon Freese at 196, Logan Mason 209.3 over 3 games, Alex Zerwinski a 179 over 3, Jason Miner 175 over 2. So again, good scores, just a little short. Coach Brooks said they had a couple injuries on each side and some sicknesses. They kept a couple people back. Wasn't quite a full squad. And yeah, he's a little disappointed, but he still is pleased with the position, again, with the competition and how big it was. And he's thinking, all right, we learned our lessons. We saw who won these tournaments. St. Ambrose won on the men's side. We know what we have to do to coming up for Heart Play. We just found out that they qualified for USBC sectionals, and they'll be going back to Addison. Addison. That's Baker. Whatever. Addison, Illinois. Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. It'd be. I mean, they're going to be right there on the cusp. I think women are ranked 17th.
Yeah.
Men are 22nd. So they're right there in a position to, if they finish one higher than like a team that is rated ahead of them. I mean, anything can go once you get into postseason, but they're in a good position to possibly get back to nationals and make some noise from there. So it'd be interesting, and the Hoosier Classic's always a big one. And, it's
one
nice
of the top tier 1 events out
nice
there.
To finish somewhere near the top. I mean, they didn't win it, but it is what it is. Cheer and Dance competed at the Heart Championships on Saturday, so they went after conference gold in banner. Unfortunately, neither one brought home one. The cheer team, first competition of the year, they got 8th out of 9. Team score about 50. I didn't write it down. Sorry. And then the dance team was 8th out of 8. Biggest problem there, they're just struggling with numbers, and if they don't have as many people out there, I think they lose a lot of points from.
If you said on the one turn thing, you have to have 6 people. If you don't,
you're knocking a whole bunch of points, and stuff like that. Cheer had a weird deduction that she said, would have put them in the top 5 had they not gotten that deduction, and kind of call for what she said it was, kind of a bit of a bogus call, but it is what it is. So they'll learn from that and move forward. But at least they got back into competition, got to show the rest of the Heart who they are, and that they're back into being a team that is going to be there at the championship. So wrestling, just one individual wrestled at the Central Freshman Sophomore Tourney, the last chance event. Max Diaz got to the consolation finals, had a couple pins. So we're all wrapped up there. They're ready to go to the conference this week and see if anybody can qualify for nationals. Otherwise, it's going to be a bow on the season there. But hopefully, the guys like Darquell Pierre, who we'll talk to later, can make a run, and we can get some people at nationals in a few weeks. So, baseball and
baseball and men's volleyball. We'll start with baseball real quick. They went to Lincoln, Nebraska, headed west for sunnier skies, as I said.
Yeah.
As Joplin got rained out, or weather was an issue down in Joplin, Missouri, they took on Doane in a 4-game series. The offense really came to life. It's really been there all year, but Statesman really showcased some power over the weekend. They outscored the Tigers 40-28 in the 4 games. And they came out in game 1 and put it right on them, a 13-3 victory. 3 home runs headlined the day. Tanner Badir, Alex Fisher, and Soren Graverson all went yard, while Jameson Hart, Dominic Bravo, they both had multi-hit performances, as well as Badir and Fisher. Fisher had 4 RBIs in the game. Stratton did what he does on the mound as an ace. He goes out there and sets the tempo. He went a complete game. 3 earned runs on 6 hits while striking out 9, improved to 2-0 on the season. That performance netted him Hart Pitcher of the Week honors. Game 2, it was a close one. This Doan team's tough. I mean, they can really hit. They took Game 2 from the Statesmen 7-6. Jacob Wickman had a really good performance out of the pen. He threw 2 1/3 innings, surrendering no earned runs and striking out a pair. Good to see somebody out of the bullpen stepping up. For the Statesmen, Badir logged another multi-hit game. He was 2 for 3 with another home run and 2 RBIs. I mean, guys building off another phenomenal.
He's hitting well considering he's banged up. So.
Yeah, he's banged up. He's dealing with a bit of a couple issues, and he had a banged up wrist last year. Was able to play through it. I mean, the guy's pain tolerance is through the roof, and he's able to go out there and he's able to perform at a high level despite these little nagging injuries. So, yeah, Soren Graverson also had a pair of RBIs on a double. That double actually tied the game at 6th, but Statesman unable to hold down Doan in the final inning as Doan took it by a score 7-6, and Statesman returned on Sunday to take on Doan once again, and they pulled out a 13-11 win. This game was really wild. The Statesmen trailed 8-2 after just 2 innings, found their way back in it, scored 6 runs in the, I believe it was
4th or 5th.
Yeah, I believe it was in the 5th inning. That tied it up 8-8, and then they took the lead in the 5th, or they actually took the lead in that inning in the 5th, so they were up 9-8. Doan came back, tied it up, and Jarrett Hunt had the big go-ahead 2 RBI double to put him up. It was actually 11-11, and then he put up a 2 RBI double to complete the come from behind victory. And Stetson Denning picked up the win out of the bullpen. He went 4 2/3 innings, giving up 105 hits and striking out 6. Another guy that's able to come in out of the bullpen and play multiple positions. He also was able to play some shortstop, and Tyler Gregory picked up his second save of the season, throwing a scoreless 7th. And then shortly after that, they went and it was another tight one, and they took it 8-7. Kind of a crazy win again. At the end, Hart had another home run. He was 2 of 4. Fisher was 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs. Hart also had 3 RBIs. Gregory got the start after picking up the save in Game 3. He just continued to go into Game 4. He lasted 4 innings while giving up 4 earned runs and striking out 4. That stat line doesn't really do a lot of justice for what an impact he had on the game. He got a lot of tough jams, worked around a couple of errors, and he was able to keep the Statesmen and give them a chance to win, which they eventually did. So I think that's all you can ask out of a starting pitcher, particularly after coming off he really pitched 5 innings that day because he came up and picked up the save. But in the 7th inning, Doan was threatening. They had runners on 2nd and 3rd. Hot shot to third base, and Jalen Jones stepped up for an injured Dominic Bravo. Made a nice stop, got the guy caught in between a rundown between home and 3rd, and was able to throw it onto Jake Vernon at the plate, and Vernon tagged him out. So that kind of was a game-saving play at that moment.
Yeah.
And from there, they were able to nail it down and take 3 out of 4. I think you chalk that up as a successful weekend against a pretty good and up-and-coming Doan squad.
Yeah. I think the biggest part for me is that we've already played 11 games in February in the Midwest. So, chalk it up to all good things that, we're not going to win all of them, and that's fine. But at least we're getting out there and finding out who we are before we get into conference. Because conference starts in like a week and a half, but we're ready. We're starting to figure out who we are and giving a lot of people an opportunity and seeing where the cream rises to the top. So that's the biggest thing for me is that we're just getting games in early on. And
absolutely. And there's a lot of guys stepping up right now. There's a couple nagging injuries.
And you're going to have that.
And it's never something you want to see early in the season, but you want to make sure those guys get healthy. And if you have the ability to have the depth for guys to step up like they have, Jalen Jones had a good weekend, and he had 3 hits and 7 at bats. I mean, it's not a lot you can ask out of a sophomore coming off the bench who hasn't really seen a lot of game time. other than that. But
Yeah.
overall, very good weekend. Would like to have taken 4 out of 4, but it just wasn't in the cards. But overall, good weekend. Something they can build off of going into this weekend, which we'll talk about later.
Yep. All right, men's volleyball.
Men's volleyball, yeah. They took on Jamestown, the Jimmies. They second time playing them this time around. They played them up in Jamestown, North Dakota. Unfortunately, Jamestown just too much for the Statesmen to handle as they swept them in 3 sets, 25-21, 25-15, 25-13. This was their home opener, so that place was rocking, I'm sure. And they're in the first season of their program too. So every bit as we were excited to have it here, they had it there, and they took care of business. Yeah, really not too much to say. I think Jamestown really came out and took care of business there. But turning around on Saturday, yeah, against Culver Stockton.
No.
Briarcliff.
Oh, sorry, I don't have Briarcliff here.
Okay,
But
never mind.
yes, it was a 3-1. It was a 3-1
Yeah, and we won the first
game.
set.
We did win the first set. Actually looked really good.
Yep.
In that first set, Coach Luke Bentley said it was one of the best sets they played all year. Really came out, and this was the number 13 ranked Briarcliff team.
Yeah.
And they came out, they said, and then next 3 sets just kind of let it go. Briarcliff, good teams.
Yeah.
It's a good team, and
Imp-
good teams
impose
find
their
ways
will.
to.
Ranked team?
Yeah.
Receiving votes?
They're receiving votes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they went and they took care of the Statesmen in the final 3 sets and did what they needed to do. Unfortunately, at the expense of the Statesmen. But then on Tuesday against Culver Stockton, the Statesmen hosted them in the Penn Activity Center. Really a really tough, good fought match between both teams. With the Statesmen unfortunately coming up short in a 5-setter. The 5th set was ultimately the deciding set, of course, and Statesmen had him at match point a couple of times there at 14 to 11. The Wildcats ended up scoring 3 straight points to make it 14-14, and then States went up 15-14, and Culver Stockton scored 3 straight again. And really, I just chalk it up as that's the difference between having a team full of freshmen and some juniors and seniors that know how to win those close games. We've seen the Statesmen being snake bitten a couple times on some 5-setters, so they're right there. I mean, they can easily have 4 or 5 wins this season rather than the 2 that they do have. But I think it was a good performance from the Statesmen overall. Ike Papes led the charge. He logged 22 kills at a 236 clip, and hitting at a 236 clip is very good, particularly getting fed the ball almost 50 times. So good job by him. And then Eli Hero, he had 360 on 11 kills to continue to develop, and we've seen him become a much more efficient attacker for this Statesman team. Matt Helmick ran the offense. They ran a 5-1 with Connor Muff out with a knee injury, and he ran the offense and had the best game of the season, 48 assists, and he had 12 digs to log his double-double, so good for them. Pedro Maciel, 16 digs, that led the squad, while CJ Reddick had 12 as well, so really good overall performance from the Statesmen in the 5 sets.
Yeah, just eventually we're going to win a 5-setter. It's just, frustrating right now that, as you're a freshman team, you got to find that consistency and find a way to get it done when it's all said and done, so. All right, I think that's everything. Again, it's kind of a light week, not really. But when we come back later, we'll preview all the games coming up this weekend. But next time, when we come back onto the camera, we will be talking to a bunch of seniors as part of our Senior Day special. So you are inside the playbook. We'll be back in a minute. Welcome back, Statesman Nation. I'm joined now by Kate Ylitalo, senior women's basketball player out of Maple Plain, Minnesota, as well as Logan Mason, senior men's bowler out of Knoxville, Iowa. Guys, appreciate you coming in for a little bit. As part of our Senior Day special, wanted to highlight our seniors that are going on to bigger and better things. So, first off, both of you, congratulations on a great career so far. Hopefully, it concludes well. We got postseason coming up in just the next couple weeks. So,
Thanks.
All right, Kate first, and you guys kind of all have the same questions here. So, sorry, I'm putting Kate on the spot, and then Logan gets a little more time to think about it. But
ladies first, right?
there you go, right? Since you're a senior, you've been in the program for 4 years. All of this, talk about what you've learned throughout your career. Things that have, we always talk about the teamwork aspect of being in sports. It's going to propel you to better things and prepares you for life. But what have you learned throughout your 4 years at William Penn being a student athlete, how, I guess however you want to kind of answer that.
Okay, yeah. I guess I've learned that you can't take anything for granted. Like, you have to learn from your losses, but appreciate the wins also.
Right.
And I think sometimes it's easy to get caught up in everything, and if you lose a game, it's easy to use that as a setback, but I think as a team you have to overcome adversity and just be able to move past that. And I think myself, I've learned a lot more about leadership and just how to become more a part of a team where you all work together and use each other as an advantage.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Logan. She probably answered it exactly the way you wanted to, but you still had to answer it. So.
Yeah. So like she said, like being part of a team, like you come in and you just want to bowl. Like for our aspect, you just want to bowl.
Yeah.
But like you got to take a step back and like watch everything. Like you can't just come in and expect to be the top player. You got to come in and learn. Being an upperclassman, you're looked up to be a leader. And I guess this year I've stepped up into being a leader, but not as much as like our brothers on the team, Alexander and Rock.
Right.
They're more the vocal ones, and I'm more like the quiet one. But make sure we're staying on focus and everything.
Well, when people can understand them, right? I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. For
sure. Both of you guys have gone through a coaching change during your career. Logan, I'll ask you this first, but how much did that impact you? And again, how much were you able to learn through that process?
So yeah, Mark Van Wyk was the first coach. He was the one that recruited me and everything to get here, and then stepped away after the first tournament last year. And then it was tough going through like the changes, see who we were gonna get for a new coach. And we got Brandon Brooks, who was an alumni. He was part of the team, part of the best ranked team in the men's program history. And he's just been more positive and make sure that we stay on point. Big thing for him is positivity, focus, stay up at the line, don't bring back the negative. Just make sure that we're staying on point. Like this last weekend, we had one of our roughest tournaments in Baker's at the Hoosier, and he said that it's one of the days you got to put on the back burner. Yeah. And like it's one of the days you'll learn from it. Just learn from it, move on, use it as fuel for this postseason.
Okay. Yeah. As a returner, coming in, because this would have been, right at the start of your junior year, academically, I guess you're fifth year, right?
Yep.
Yeah. But or athletically, athletically, right at the start of your junior year, you're thinking, hey, I'm gonna, stick with this coach. I'm gonna have him the whole time, and now I've got to totally do this new change, and especially with your situation with Brandon really not taking over until a few weeks, several weeks later, and having Steen in there. How much did you have to, I guess, let's just call it growing up and maturing and becoming a leader just like that on the spot?
Yeah, that was big. Having like me being a junior, we had Nick Walker, Curtis Micah on the team also. Yep. So like they were seniors, they stepped into being role models and everything for the whole team. It was just us making sure like at practices we were staying focused, working on the drills, the correct drills, doing them properly, making sure that our underclassmen stayed on task, and hopefully it worked out. We had Conan for a tournament, and then Ryan Howard was a big help for us too, along with Steen. You mentioned Steen. Steen was by far the best GA I've ever seen out here. And him and Ryan worked together, and then Ryan actually is now at Hawkeye.
There you go.
Hawkeye Community
Thank you,
College.
Nicole in the peanut gallery back there helping you out.
Hawkeye Community College in Waterloo, and he's coaching there now.
Cool.
Got a pretty good program going.
Great, good. Kate, same question. Coach Williamson coming in at, I guess it would be start of your between your freshman and sophomore year. So only 1 year under Willie Scott, but same situation. You're coming back as a returner, and I'm sure Coach Williamson's like, all right, I need you to step in and help me to, mold everybody else and make sure like this is the program or whatever. And I'm sure that took time, whatever. But talk about the impact and again, how much you were able to learn as a leader.
Yeah, I think whenever a new coach comes in, it's an adjustment for everyone because both ends are kind of taking a chance on each other. The coach doesn't completely know all the girls that he's getting, and likewise you don't know what the coach is going to be like and what he wants to do with the program. But I think it's really important to just have an open mind all around because it's easy to be negative right away and be like, this isn't the coach that recruited me, I don't know if I'm going to be playing, I don't know how this is going to go. But I think I knew right from the moment Coach Williamson started to get to know all of us and put us through workouts that like he wanted people with positive attitudes and that would work hard and find something that they can contribute to the team.
Yeah, definitely. That's as I always say, it's always rainbows and unicorns with him. So you just have to know that it might be tough, but he's got the best of intentions for you. So
yeah, exactly.
Alrighty. Final question before we get into a Furious 4 little rundown here. But future plans for both of you. What do you guys plan on doing after your time here at William Penn? So Kate first.
I haven't fully decided what I'm doing after college. I want to probably continue on with school and do something dental or medical related. So,
Okay.
Yep.
There you
Another 4 years.
Right, yeah, even more school, right? There you
Yep.
go. Okay, more school for you, or it's like, I'm done, I'm out?
No, yeah, I'm done after this year.
Okay.
Graduate in May. Hopefully get a job in insurance somewhere.
Okay.
Either I got opportunities at Grinnell Mutual,
Sure.
Nationwide, and then American Family Insurance here in town. So
Well, there you go.
hopefully it works out that way.
Well, Iowa's huge breeding ground for insurance, so
Yeah.
shouldn't have to go too far, hopefully.
For sure.
Alrighty. Okay. You guys I both picked 4 questions out for you. You didn't get to pick numbers or anything. It was just 4 that they haven't already answered. They've already been on the pick 6 or whatever I called it at the time. I think you guys both did this past year or something. But anyway, 4 questions I know they haven't answered yet. So, all right, Kate, I'm just going to rip right through you and then get to Logan. Okay. Your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Ooh, I love ice cream, so
Okay.
it's a tough question, but I would say anything chocolate brownie or anything like that.
It's a lot of chocolate, right?
Yeah.
Chocolate on top of chocolate. Okay. 2-part question. If you were stranded on a deserted island, what is one item you bring, and who do you bring? So a person and an item.
A person and an item. I would probably bring water because I
Okay.
can imagine I'd be really thirsty.
Probably a good idea. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I would probably bring someone that is good with directions or
Okay.
someone that's relaxed in high tense situations, I guess.
Okay. Nobody comes to mind in that situation.
I mean, I can't think of anyone, a family or friend.
Okay.
Probably, yeah.
Just
family
some
member or friend,
good chum,
someone.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. If you could go back in time, what year or time period would you travel back to?
Ooh, I don't know, I guess. I've never really, there's not like a specific year I would go back
Okay.
to. I guess when the poodle skirts were popular, I always thought that was like a fun time.
There you go.
period.
So we're talking 50s, I guess.
Yeah.
Does that sound right, guys? We'll go with 50s. Somewhere in that.
Yeah,
that,
I always
okay.
thought that would be fun.
All right, cool. All right, and then finally, first thing you would buy if you had $1 million. If you just won $1 million, you'd buy anything. That's one thing.
Ooh, I think I would buy a cabin on the lake. 'Cause
Okay.
That sounds really relaxing. Place
Coming
to go.
from the lady, it comes from the land of 10,000 lakes. What a
Yeah.
surprising answer. She wants a place on the lake. Very cool. Okay, all right, Logan, you're 4. Here we go. What are your hobbies outside of bowling?
I like to hang out with my friends a lot.
Okay.
Go watch the basketball games.
Okay.
And then play baseball anytime I can.
All right, very cool. Okay, same. I don't know why I have the same question there, but I'm going to go with it. Doesn't matter. All right, deserted island, one item, one person.
I'd have to say water also because you gotta have it to survive.
Okay.
And then probably Alexander, teammate.
Yeah.
We always have a good
I
time.
got a feeling, yeah,
together.
you'd be a wild time, sure. All right, all-time favorite movie.
8 seconds.
8 seconds. Okay,
Yeah.
very cool. That's a bull riding movie. That's what we're talking the same one, right?
Yeah,
I was like,
Lake
there's not another
Cross.
8 seconds that I don't know about,
Cry
right?
every time. It's
Oh
over.
man, yeah, I can't watch that movie. You know, just thinking about it, it's tearing me up. Okay, last but not least, what are you currently binge watching? Netflix, Hulu, Prime, whatever you're watching. If you're watching anything.
Really not watching anything, I guess.
If you could binge watch anything, let's go with that. Anything?
I mean, I'd probably start back up The Good Doctor.
Okay,
I started watching it, got off track, and
very cool.
haven't watched it since. So.
Okay, very cool. All right, thank you guys so much. Again,
Yeah,
best of luck
thank you.
as you close out your careers here at William Penn. Kate Ylitalo from Maple Plain, Minnesota, and Logan Mason from Knoxville, Iowa. Again, best of luck.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you.
We'll come back in a minute and we'll have a couple more seniors. Welcome back, Statesman Nation, and we are now joined by Nicole Craft, a senior women's bowler out of Wakefield, Nebraska. Sorry, I forgot your home state. Appreciate you coming in for a little bit. We got the same type of questions here. You were actually off camera for a little bit, so you've been preparing these answers all along. So this should be a pretty quick one and pretty succinct, but maybe not. Maybe you've got a lot more ideas. Okay. You've been in the program 4 years, an opportunity to learn a lot about yourself, learn a lot about life, all of that, through college. Talk about that, just what you have figured out through the last 4 years of being a student athlete here at William Penn.
Yeah, I've figured out a lot, not only about what it means to like be a student athlete, but what it means to like grow and just be an all-around better person. I mean,
Yeah.
when I came here, I definitely didn't know what to expect. When I came on my visit, I didn't meet anybody. The only person I knew was my coach.
Right.
I was like, what is going to happen? So it's definitely been a learning experience, especially my freshman and sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
It was just kind of figuring everything out. But I think the biggest thing I learned is you can handle more than you think you can. You're stronger than you think you are. And especially the last 2 seasons, just fighting through injury after injury,
Sure.
I feel like, especially right now with my knee, I always like feel supported when I'm here and know that I can reciprocate that back to other people too. So just an all around how to be a better person than I was when I got here.
Yeah, definitely.
So.
You've also gone through, as you mentioned with Logan, you've also gone through a coaching change in your career with Brandon taking over last year. Talk about how that impacted you as far as, especially having to become maybe a leader in that transition, going without a coach for a little while and then having a different coach and, just knowing that, I'm an upperclassman, I have to step up and be able to help our program.
Yeah, it was definitely tough. We found out and I immediately had to go back to my sorority reunion, so handling that was really tough for me. And I mean, Mark was the one who recruited me.
Right.
Him and Tammy and of course Bree were the only people I knew when I got here. So he definitely helped me make that transition as much as he could.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with him leaving and having to find another coach, I was actually got to be part of the interview process when Nick brought in different athletes to do it. And I think when Brandon interviewed, it was something about him that it really made me feel like, okay, like I trust him.
Yeah.
I loved our other candidates too, Kirsten and Cam.
Yeah.
But Brandon has just taken this program and he put trust in us and we had to trust him. It was definitely scary. I mean, coming from high school straight into college. He bowled for 4 years, was here for 3 of them, Vincennes for the other 2.
Yeah.
But his knowledge and everything that he can do, the way he gets to know his players, he's a lot more vocal, is a lot more in communication, which is something that I like. Because I like to be able to go and tell him, hey, this is going on, so if I seem distant.
Right.
So it's definitely been a challenge, but it's been good, and I think having him this entire season is helping those, especially the sophomores who only really had Mark for a couple weeks before he left, get some trust into him, and his recruiting is phenomenal. I'm super excited to see what the team does next year.
Yeah.
So
You just want one more year of eligibility, right?
I wish.
Talk about your future plans. What are you doing after you're a statesman? You're always going to be a statesman.
Yeah.
Forever statesman, but what are you doing after you're a student athlete?
I'm still going to be at Penn, actually. I got
Okay.
accepted into the Masters of Sports Management
Awesome.
program.
Great.
So I'll be here 2 more years.
Cool.
I won't be a graduate assistant with the bowling team,
Okay.
though. I've been traveling way too much
Yeah.
between playing softball in high school and then doing bowling now. So I'm trying to get a graduate assistant position with Daryl McKeag
Okay.
over with Academic Success.
Sure.
I'm doing an internship where I'm academically coaching students.
Yep.
And that's something I really want to focus on because I love being able to help kids.
Yeah.
Because you obviously come here, some from other countries,
Mhm.
parts of the U.S., I mean, now you can't do what you love to do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if I can help student athletes some way, that's how I want to help them.
Very cool. Awesome. Okay. You've got 4 questions here that I picked out that you have not done previously, at least from what I could tell from the past videos. So we're going to get right into it. All right. Your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Oh, just like Kate, I love ice cream.
Okay.
I'm all about it. I love the Ben & Jerry's half-baked.
Half-baked. Okay.
So it's half chocolate ice cream, half vanilla ice cream, cookie dough, and brownie.
Oh, wow.
So it has everything I
Yeah,
love,
that
and you just
sounds
got to
like-
mix it up.
Yeah, sure.
It's perfect.
Very cool. Okay. All right. What are you listening to right now? What's like your go-to music?
I listen to a lot of country.
Okay.
My car also really only gets 104.9.
Right.
So-
So then you're definitely on country.
Yeah, so I don't know. I've been on a country kick for about a year now, so.
Okay. Any specific artists that like that's my guy, my lady that I listen to all the time?
No, I just kind of listen to everything.
Everything. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Very cool. Okay. First thing you would buy if you had $1 million.
It's a toss-up between a new car or a house. I would love my own home, but I hit a deer over the summer. My car I need a new one.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Well, you got to get around, right?
Yeah.
For sure. Okay. I don't think I've ever asked this question before, so I'm interested in the. It's not tough. It's just I don't think anybody's ever picked a number. What's your favorite board game, card game? Like if you're playing, if it's board game night with your friends, what are you playing? What do you want to play?
my family plays Phase 10 all the time.
Okay, sure.
We are so competitive. Yeah, it's Phase 10 probably.
Okay,
So,
very cool.
we get into it.
Yeah, very cool. All right. Once again, Nicole Craft, senior women's bowler out of Wakefield, Nebraska. Best of luck the rest of your year. You guys know you're going to Addison,
Yeah.
so add one more national qualification to it, and
I hope
hey,
so.
bring home a national title when it's all said and
Yeah.
done. What a great way to end your career.
One
So.
last run at it.
That's right. All right. Best of luck.
Thank
All right,
you.
Thanks. Welcome back, Statesman Nation. As we continue with our Senior Day special, we have brought in Darquell Pierre, senior men's wrestler out of St. Petersburg, Florida. Appreciate you coming in, buddy. All right. We've got a few questions for him. Get him in and out so you can go on and get ready for. We got conference this weekend, so
Yes, sir.
ready to go. All right. Okay. 4-year, wrestler. Hopefully you've learned a lot through your career as a student athlete here at William Penn. Talk about that a little bit, and just regards to everything, just being an athlete, but being a student as well. I'm sure there's been a lot of maturity through the last 4 years.
Like what I learned, you said?
Yeah, just everything you've learned. Kind of.
Getting here, I learned that time management is key to succeeding in
Yeah.
college. I learned that I need to talk to my family more often.
Right.
Yeah, it's hard being distant from them.
Yeah.
And then trying to manage everything else at the same
Sure.
time. So just keep in touch with your family and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Switching coaches in the middle of your career. I mean, yeah, you had Aaron. Coach Scott was with the program as an assistant prior to him becoming a head coach. So not a major transition, I'm assuming, but still a change in direction and and how he wanted to run the ship and everything. Let's talk about how that changed. Just your direction in college, good or bad, as well as how that impacted you as maybe having to be a leader now that we have a new coach and you're kind of looked at as a returner and figuring out how to get everybody else on the same page as well.
I think that it was the best thing that could have happened for our team.
Yeah.
We needed the change physically, mentally, everything that Coach Scott is bringing. We do a lot of mindset training and just getting us ready mentally to wrestle, pushing ourselves and just pushing each other in the wrestling room. Physically, that goes with that as well.
Were you asked to have to pick up some leadership roles? I mean, again, you had a
Yeah.
coach that was already here, so people knew kind of what to expect out of him. But again, when you're one of the older players or older athletes, I mean, you're only a sophomore at the time, but still, you had gone through time. I mean, you've already been a collegiate athlete a little while, so did he ask, hey, can you show the guys around a little bit, show them how to do this?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Definitely, we help out the younger guys.
Yeah.
A lot of times when they come on their recruiting trips as well, we hang out with them and do stuff with them. When they come here and show them around the school, we talk about our majors and stuff and just stuff that we do as wrestlers.
Definitely. Talk about your future plans. What are we doing after William Penn?
After William Penn, I plan on joining the military.
Okay, cool.
I'm thinking reserves right now,
Good.
just to see what I want to do.
Yeah.
but I'm looking into the Marines and the Air Force Reserves.
Okay. Very cool. All right. Okay. 4 questions, quick ones, and then get you on your way. All right. Where's one place you'd most like to visit? So what's your dream vacation?
Haiti.
Haiti?
My dad was from Haiti.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Okay. If one actor could play you in a movie about yourself, who would that actor be?
If one actor can play me in a movie,
play you in a movie about yourself.
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart? Okay.
Yeah.
He looks a lot like you, and both stature-wise. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All-time favorite movie.
My all-time favorite movie, gotta go with The Notebook.
Notebook. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Liking the love movie. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. 3-part question to finish it off here. What's your favorite time of day, your favorite day of the week, favorite month, or time of the year? So favorite time of day.
My favorite time of day would be mornings.
Okay. Getting right up. Getting after
Right
it.
up,
Okay. Favorite day of the week.
Saturday.
Okay. All right. And then favorite month or time of the year.
Favorite month would be my birthday.
Birthday.
January.
Okay. All right. So early morning, January, Saturday. That's when it was all about. Man,
Yes,
that
sir.
sounds like wrestling season right there.
Yep.
So very cool. Okay, Darquell, appreciate you coming in. Once again, Darquell Pierre, from St. Petersburg, Florida. Best of luck at conference this week. Get yourself qualified and finish off your career strong.
Thank you.
All right, thanks so much. When we come back, we're going to be sitting down. Justin and Jared will rejoin me, and we will preview all the games for next week. Welcome back, Statesman Nation. We have just a few more games to talk about, and we'll close up the show, but we're going to preview all of next week's games. And this time of year, guys, it's all kind of up in the air. And literally, like just minutes ago, we found out that baseball is now no longer playing a game, and softball switching up things. So as of right now, Thursday afternoon, this is what we know of the situation. So we'll talk about basketball first and kind of just jump around a little bit, but start with women's basketball and men's basketball. Both will be going to Baldwin City, Kansas on Saturday to face Baker. Women won big last month here in Oski. Then they'll go and stay in Oski or come back to Oski on Monday. Rescheduled game from back in January. Those supposed to be against Mid-American Nazarene. Really a huge game. We're just basically percentage points ahead of the Pioneers, trying to avenge a 68-48 loss back in November down in Kansas. So that's going to be a really big one. Win that one, I think that pretty much locks you up. And then assuming you take care of Peru State and Baker and Mount Mercy. And then Mount Mercy at home also. That'll be senior night next Wednesday. Took care of the Mustangs, up at Cedar Rapids, 78-53 last month. So looking for the season sweep there as well. So really busy week now after having a light week. Now we've got 3 full games coming up in the next just handful of days for the women, and then the men will be in the same situation. So
yeah, same schedule for the men, and this is going to be a tough test for the men coming up here. 3 quality opponents coming up. Baker, 14-13 overall, 12-9 in the heart, so they have pulled out some big wins.
Yeah.
The Statesman took it to them the last time we played Baker here, 97-56, a huge win for the Statesman. Anytime you win by over 40 points, I would say that's a
big
thrashing.
win. Yeah.
And then, the game that I think has been circled for a while, the one against Mid-Am. Went down there as the opening game for the Heart of America Athletic Conference down there in Olathe, and Mid-Am snuck one by us, 99-94. I think we did, game plan-wise, everything we wanted to do except finish. Got their bigs in some foul trouble early, and we weren't able to really capitalize on that, and ended up with the hard luck loss. Mid-Am this season 16-10, 12-9 Hearts, another quality team. That's gonna come bring their best. They're always give us fits. And then Wednesday, Mount Mercy, 13-14 overall, 8-13 in the Heart, not really having a great year as far as the records show, but we barely edged them out up in.
They gave us a fight.
Yeah,
they gave 23 pointers, didn't they? If I remember.
They were 93. Yeah, 93-89 was the final there. So if they're able to get their shots in order on Wednesday, we could be in for another close one.
Yeah, for sure. Wrestling will be at the Heart Championships. They're in Atchison, Kansas on Saturday. So last chance, or the only chance, I guess, to make nationals. It's just a national qualifier. So handful of guys right there in that position that if they can upset one or two guys, could make themselves, put themselves in position to qualify. Or otherwise it's the end of the career for Darquell Pierre, Dennis Simmons are both seniors that'll be wrestling on Saturday. So wish them the best of luck. The cheer team will need to have one more competition under their belt before they can officially qualify to be in a national qualifier. So they have to compete this weekend. They're going to the Central Methodist Invitational on Sunday. It'll just be the cheer team, not the dance team. So just getting another one under their belt, another score on their roster, so to speak, resume, excuse me. So anyhow, that's a couple of those random things. I think I don't know if you have anything.
Yeah,
No, you have
bowling
softball.
is off this
Bowling's
weekend,
off.
but softball is hopefully
Yeah.
getting their season underway. They got canceled last weekend. Games got rescheduled for this weekend, and then if you look at the schedule,
just another tournament actually that they're going just to the same place. But
oh, really? Because it looked like literally the same teams.
basically is, but we just
Oh.
weren't able to sneak into the
No.
next tournament they hosted. But same idea. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, the point is that they're hopefully going to be playing tomorrow
Hopefully,
because
right, yeah.
now the schedule says that they're canceling tomorrow. They might be back on. We'll see. But theoretically, the team will be playing William Baptist and McPherson, who is receiving votes, as well as Cotty tomorrow. There was one other team. I didn't write it
That's
down.
it right now. Yeah,
That should be the start of their season. If
Hopefully.
not, it will have to wait another week. So let's hope softball gets going, because I know I talked to Gemma and they said they're just really done with practicing and want
sure.
to play some games now.
Yeah, and
no.
they had a little simulated
Yeah.
scrimmage down there yesterday. I
Yeah,
think
against
just to get
Central,
them, just to get them going down there in the pack,
Yeah.
which was, I mean, it's live reps, so
Hey, very
and they have the ability to do that down there in the pack. It's pretty cool. So
Definitely.
And it was actually kind of fun. I'd watch it for a little bit between basketball games, sitting above home plate like that. It was kind of a cool perspective because you're looking
Right.
down.
Yeah, sure.
Kind of fun.
No, definitely. Yeah, so for sure they'll play Saturday, and that's all we know. And they're trying to get games in against Cotty out of Missouri tomorrow as well. So hopefully they get those in, and they can get 4 full games, get really rolling on 2020. So baseball.
yeah, baseball just learned that they were going to go down to Joplin, Missouri, play 4 games. It's been knocked down to just 3 now, as
Yep.
Sunday has been knocked off the schedule from weather purposes. They were meant to play Concordia, Nebraska, which would have been a really good test for us. They're
Yeah.
a very good school over there. But on Friday we'll have Morningside. 4-6 so far this season. Historically a decent program
Yeah.
out of the GPAC. So, and then you go and you play Jamestown, a very good team, notorious or perennially a year in year out in the GPAC. They're 5-1 right now, so that'd probably be our biggest test on the weekend. And then we finish up with St. Mary, who's 0-6 to this point. Had some pretty good. We've had some good performances in the last years against St. Mary. We usually play them every year down there. So, a couple more challenges for the Statesmen coming up before they get into conference play.
Yeah, again, just nice that they'll be able to get some games in, and again, softball finally getting to play. And the most anticipated, though, as we just keep on talking about new sports all the time, men's and women's lacrosse finally getting their inaugural seasons underway. The women will be in Indiana. They'll be playing Marion on Friday. And then the men will, on Saturday, go up to Lawrence Tech in Michigan for their first game. So really, really highly anticipated matchups. I think both of those teams, I know Lawrence Tech is ranked. I'm pretty sure Marion is on the women's side as well. So it'd be great just to see, what these teams are made of early on.
Let's
and
watch some lacrosse.
watch some lacrosse.
go.
And we still got a month until they're going to be here, but we'll get to watch some, on the road and just to see what we're made of early on. That's mostly freshman teams, so a lot of excitement. Men's volleyball, sorry, I forgot men's volleyball.
Yeah, men's volleyball starting tonight against Missouri Valley, 7 p.m. in Marshall, Missouri. Missouri Valley, pretty quality ball club, 11-8, 3-2 in the heart.
They're receiving votes too.
Receiving votes, yep. So, got them tonight. Then we got a quick turnaround tomorrow. They're going to have to get back on the bus, get back here, and get some sleep. And then tomorrow night, here in the Penn Activity Center, they got Dort, a team that the Statesmen defeated to pick up their first win in program history. That was in Sioux City. They took that by a score of 3-1, and we'll see if they can double up Dort and take 2 from them. And then In that first match, Ike Papes had 16 kills and 3 different players recorded a double-digit dig total, so a good defensive outing.
Yep.
And then on Tuesday, they will play Mount Mercy in Cedar Rapids. Just a couple weeks ago, Mount Mercy swept us 3 games to 0. So we'll see if we can put up a little bit better of a fight against them this time around in the Penn Activity Center.
Definitely. All right. I think we got everybody.
Track
I
and
think
field,
it is
our
just
championships.
Track and field. Oh my
Our
gosh. Thank you.
championships.
Thank you.
Track and field, that's Friday and Saturday, starting tomorrow
Yep.
down in Maryville, Missouri. Let's see what the suspects have in store for us. The usual suspects, meaning
Sage.
Sage Erisman, Elena Van Arsdale, Shelby Williams in the throws. In the sprints, you got guys Sage Erisman in the sprints as well, and you got
Joel
Fenelon in
Brown,
the jumps,
there's
Joe
so,
Brown.
Yeah, so many guys.
On the women's side, I'm trying to think of the women's side. I'm blanking right now.
Shania Newby.
Shania Newby, yes, thank you. She's had a very, very good year, and we'll see what they can do.
Longer distance people can qualify or anything like
Michaela
that.
Kamaka's run very well in the longer
Yeah,
distances.
see who's all going, what they can do, and
Yeah.
hopefully get some high finishes, and again maybe even qualify for nationals. It's always tough at conference because they tend to put you in as many events as you qualify in because you want to get as many points as possible. So there's not normally a lot of qualifications happening there because you get spread out and you just get worn out. But hopefully we can do well. So that's it.
Because literally every sport.
Except
now,
for men's and women's golf, that would
But
possibly be going.
Yeah, they're restarting later. But
Yeah,
otherwise,
they're
that is
about 2
everybody
weeks.
going. Finally.
It's everybody finally going. So we're busy. So thank you guys for all your efforts. Thanks for your preparation. We'll be back next Thursday. More Statesman content coming your way. But in the meantime, check out statesmanathletics.com for all of your William Penn related content. So, all right, once again, Jared Goodman, Justin Burtis, I'm Wade Steinluggy. Go Statesman.
Peace.